Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of the Noisy Neighbours podcast. Joined this evening by my little brother, Christian. I would say how we're doing, but considering the game finished about 8 minutes ago, I'm guessing not very good.
Yeah, not great, mate, because I was getting on here and I had so many positive things to say. And, well, to be fair, mate, I was going to be honest. I was going to say a lot of things from previous pods that, we were peddling our luck towards the end. However, the capitulation, again, we need serious discussions about it at this point, because not only has it become a pattern, but I think certain players now need to be looked at, as in, I know we're looking at defenders to bring in. I think we need to start shifting some of these on because they don't even look up to it. So,
yeah, I suppose. Unfortunately, we sort of couldn't get on yesterday for a couple of reasons. So we missed the day, so you didn't have the chance to gloat about the 8-0 thumping of Neville, and then just like football does, 24 hours later, brought back down to earth with a bit of a choke. I say a choke job. We'll get into the game in a minute. I think, look, we'll come to United because that was a couple of days ago. I think you're a bit hot off the press here with City's 2-2 draw at Brentford. So I did watch most of the game. Unfortunately, had to nip out, and I missed the Foden second goal and Brentford's first goal. Fortunately, my girlfriend was watching the game. I came home. She said she also missed both of them somehow, but she sat in front of the telly. So, shout out Sophie for that one. So I actually don't even know anything about the goals. When I was in Sainsbury's, I looked at my phone and saw 2-0, 81st minute. I thought, right, forget this. I'm not even texting you. I'm not even asking you how it is because you got the win. And that would have been 4 in a row, I think, and 3 league games in a row. So
4 in a row, and it's a big ground to come to and get a result, because we notoriously struggle there. We do get results, but we really do struggle to get over the line.
Look, I'd love to. I think we definitely need to give Brentford the flowers, and we'll get into Brentford after. I'm sure it's probably one of the first times me and you've watched them properly this season, and we'll come to Brentford. Let's start with City. So. Do you want to just get straight into it? What was your thoughts on the game, really, and up until 2-0, before the sort of inexplicable collapse? What were your thoughts on the game and the performance?
My thoughts on the game are quite positive coming into this. I thought we were pressing really well. I thought we looked good going forward for the first time in a while. You could see a bit of confidence coming off the back of scoring 8. A lot of positive signs. Savinho on the left again looks, I think me and you called it. We said he's got to play there going forward. He looks so much better, so much more comfortable. When he's dribbling and he's on his favoured left, it's just so much easier to watch him. Foden, again, I'm really happy that he's picking up. After he got the first one, you said you saw the first goal, didn't you?
I saw the first goal, yeah.
Right, so first one was superb, typical Foden, beautiful touch. Puts it in the bottom corner, and even after it, you started to see him carrying the ball. He had a bit of a spring in his step, and I was like, fucking get in, come on, we can have this going forward now, just something to build on. One of our main boys that's got something back. And then, even after it, we looked relatively comfortable, and then suddenly they started pressing, they get a goal, and the rest is history. But there's bigger things to talk about. Why am I watching games?
Just before we get into it, so unfortunately, I had to go to Sainsbury's and pick something up. So I missed probably about 7 minutes of the game, which was a goal at both ends. So the game was quite end to end, and we can certainly get into that a little bit more on how sort of they approached it, and obviously how you did. But I'm just intrigued so you go 2-0. And then 81st minute, was it, Foden's goal?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So then obviously it kicks off, and then by the time I came back, Brentford had scored. What happened in between? Because it must have been 4 minutes between the two goals. Yeah. What happened then? They kick off, and what?
Weirdly, right, you would think, if you weren't watching the game, you'd go, right, I can guess what's happened. They've conceded 1, City have sat back, and they've just pressed them into oblivion, and something's happened, ball's gone in. It actually didn't happen like that. City actually started going forward, very nearly scored again, giving it to Savinho. He did some insane dribble, got to the byline, and then sort of dribbled back out because no one wanted it. So yeah, I was like, you know what, we're playing the best form of attack. Best form of defense was attack for us. And then as soon as they did get the ball, they got past the halfway line. As with this game, I don't know. Obviously, you missed parts of it. I'm guessing you saw how open we were. It was the amount of times I saw a 20-fucking-yard pass. That's all it takes through our midfield. Or, I mean, if you can call it a midfield. I don't even know what you want to call it. It's a fucking giant hole. So all that's happening, it takes one fucking pass over the top. By the way, teams are now starting to target Vardiol. There's no coincidence. Every fucking ball goes over to his side.
Completely himself,
and he did actually. I know people could put anyone watching this could maybe there's a Vardiol fan could say whinge and say he made that great tackle. He basically saved a goal. I don't know if you missed that.
No, I saw that. Yeah, a bit of a crap.
However, if you actually watch, it's coming from his side again. All he has actually done is covering up for his own shit because he can't defend prior to last-ditch things.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, whether he has an absolute abysmal reading of the game. I don't know what's happened, because what's weird is from him coming from being a centre-back, I don't know what has happened where he now just cannot read the game whatsoever. He looks like a walking calamity anywhere near the back line.
He's a mystery, that geezer. I mean, so obviously you have quote unquote killed the game, and then they get a goal. How did their goal come about? I appreciate. Sorry I missed it, and maybe some people who are watching this missed it as well. So how did it come about? Their first goal.
First goal. It was more just. I mean, they were pressing well, and again they were spraying balls out wide that were hurting us. They seem to have a man more of us going forward every single attack. I don't know how this seems to happen because we look the same against Leicester. And to be honest, this is what pisses me off. Sorry, I'm going a bit off the point. I'll go back to it in a second. But this is what's pissing me off because I've seen a few City pages and they're like being ultra, positive, which is great, but you've got to be honest as well. These games, I came to you after the Leicester game and I could go, oh yeah, City are back. No, we're not. I saw the same shit. It just happened to be that we weren't punished. Today we were. And to be honest, if the game had gone on, I'd say another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we would have lost.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I completely share that opinion. And the game today, West Ham, you won 4-1, was it? You won 4-1, but I mean, some of it.
Again, the same shit, mate.
Kudos. And this is the thing where it's like, for a while, tonight's game, it was. You can't be having these games where they're so in the balance of who gets the first goal. And not only did you get the first goal, you got the first two and still didn't win. So it's not even, it's like the whole sort of feeling to these games are, and Brentford I could not believe that they weren't just pressing, they were going man for man. I mean, they conceded from going man for man, didn't they? Because Haaland held it up, Savinho out to De Bruyne, amazing ball, because it was literally when the camera came up, you could see Brentford had gone man for man on the pitch against City and conceded from it. But that's how they were feeling in the game. They grew into the game because the first half, I mean, how many of those 3-on-3s did they have? It was just ridiculous. And you look at the midfield and you think, right, okay, I think Guardiola tried to get I think he played Bernardo and Kovacic, and wherever De Bruyne is, it looks like Silva and Kovacic in it too, really, to me, because De Bruyne is fucking anywhere. But so it's like I think Guardiola's trying to do this thing where he's trying to get continuity in there, where it's like Silva, Kovacic, De Bruyne, and he's rolling it out every game. But it's like you said, Leicester could have been a different result. West Ham could have been 1-0 up. And then
the thing is, right, I've got a few players in there. This midfield, I cannot believe we are still rolling with. How am I sat here every week watching the same shit? It's ridiculous. We can all tell Bernardo is over the hill. So whatever has happened in the summer, he's come back, he's absolutely fucked. And everyone can see it. Why we are keeping going with the same shit?
Yeah.
I don't know what he expects. I don't know what results he's expecting. from a midfield who are getting overrun. We're not talking we're getting overrun by Real Madrid. We're getting overrun by teams lesser than us. No disrespect. I actually rate Brentford, but we are going to Brentford. We are getting overrun. We got overrun at times against West Ham, mate, and that was at home.
Yeah,
teams are fancying it. I think they're seeing the lineup and they're going out and they're thinking, to be honest, we've got them. We've got their number, because they know the other team hasn't got the legs to keep up at all. I saw it today with De Bruyne in transition. To be fair to De Bruyne, he actually had a good game. He had some great runs, but I know you all noticed this as well, right? So part of De Bruyne's game, we've discussed it before, he's very underrated for how powerful he was when he got into his strides. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like Yaya Toure-esque, but I know you know what I'm talking about, yeah?
A very underrated athlete, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I just want to, while we're on the subject of the midfield, and obviously he's gone to this, like I said, Kovacic, Silva, and De Bruyne. I'd say over the last, and look, you have won the games, whether me or you or anybody else thinks that it could have gone the other way. Like I said, Guardiola is trying to get continuity, but the evidence in those games was that it was just a case of you sort of outclassed them in moments. It wasn't the old school domination. And I was thinking about Silva tonight specifically, because obviously he just looks completely, like you said, physically past it. And so in the past, Silva's played centrally, and he's had that sort of, you've had the domination games back, probably going 2-3 years ago when it was at its best. And now then he went out to the right for a bit. Now he's back in the middle, and he's more exposed than ever because you've no legs around him. It's like he was never really suited to being at centre mid anyway, and now he's past it. Rodri's fucking gone, and De Bruyne is well past his physical best.
You can go into a midfield, right? You can have a midfield three if that's what you're playing, and you can carry one aging / luxury in that three,
which is De Bruyne.
Right? What we're doing is we're carrying two, and the other one isn't good enough. By the way, I'm on about Kovacic. A isn't good enough, and B, I'd also say he's looking over the hill as well.
Yeah. Yeah, with Kovacic, you can see it where, when you're trying to play out and he drops into the Rodri areas, you can see that it's not natural to him.
No, he's uncomfortable. I actually feel sorry for him, to be honest. He's been
I do, yeah. And the thing is as well, like you look at sort of the, if you think of the Fernandinho, David Silva, De Bruyne system, and to touch on your point about De Bruyne's athleticism, Fernandinho was amazing. Silva never lost it, and De Bruyne was an underrated athlete. Now you've got two guys who are they're probably like a standstill and sort of do something amazing. I'd say, which De Bruyne, like, it had an absolute classic 2025 De Bruyne game where he, with the ball stood still at his feet, he could deliver an amazing ball, which he did, and he also put one in from the left onto Haaland's head in the first half.
Yeah, he should have scored.
Should have scored, but then, like you said, the running power in between the lines and the transition there with De Bruyne was just not there. It's not there anymore.
But bro, what did I tell you exactly that? Me and you were speaking on this the other week, and you can go back and watch it. I literally said, we will have moments. Kevin De Bruyne will produce moments because the guy is still class. He will go to Inter Miami. He will produce moments for probably another 3 years. He is that good. However, in the Prem, at the physical, the physical nature of the Prem, it is so difficult.
It is, mate. I mean, that might be a nice little transition into talking about Brentford and how I was surprised at how good they were tonight.
Did you see that Damsgaard strike as well?
Damsgaard strike? The one that went in?
Yeah, well, the one that was disallowed. Yes. He was offside in the build-up.
Yeah, but I knew he was a mile offside, so it was...
Oh, he was. I'm just saying, though. I tell you what, on the quiet, he's a quality player.
I want to mention as well, like, people like myself and probably a few sort of, a lot of fans in the Premier League, like, we watch their team, really, and like, in my instance, me and you probably watch the big games. And look, I mean, we can't tune into the 3 p.m s at Brentford versus Bournemouth because we don't have, like, even if we did have it on TV, we probably just wouldn't. But, Brentford are having a very good season, and I honestly have been coming, like, I remember looking at the league table and they're one of the top scorers in the league. I think they've got like the third best attack in the league. Or
Mate, they've
something.
scored 2 more than us,
Two
apparently.
more than you. I heard the commentary tonight, which I did know about because, I mean, Wemo and Visa have got like
I didn't
30
realise
each.
that.
But it felt like to me, it was like, oh, it's just a weird sample size. I was like, Brentford, aren't they? Then all that. I tell you what, tonight, obviously you've got the running power that you spoke about all over the pitch, where they graft and they are physical. And I want to touch on Jensen in centre mid. He's technically good. They technically gifted him. I don't know whether, I think they created a very good chance off it. It came to the edge of the box and it looked like he was just going to hoof it. He with his back to goal, dropped a shoulder, turned and counter attack on. And they're passing through the lines. They ain't just hoof. They are not hoofball Brentford. They pass through the lines brilliantly. What did you think of them tonight? Were you surprised though?
But not surprised, because I've rated them for a long time, and they've never been a hoofball team. I think Thomas Frank is so underrated.
I know.
He's a top class manager. To be fair, I'm so shocked. You know when like you've seen, some of them like intermediate teams where they're not top of the tree in the Prem, but they want to get to more Europe. Yeah. Say like a West Ham could possibly try and tempt. They like to splash it a little bit. I'm shocked no one has really tried to turn Frank's head. Yeah. I mean, even at high level, he could go in at. I really rate the guy.
No, I totally agree. I mean, like it said as well in the comms tonight, the two most long-standing managers in the Premier League, Guardiola and Frank, and you can see how well. I mean, they are so well drilled. Coming from someone here who has watched a dysfunctional team in Manchester United for a long time now, I was watching them tonight, and it's not just the effort and the physical attributes, and they're fit. They are fit, them boys. They get around that pitch, they press you to death, and like I said to you, the fact they were going toe-to-toe and they conceded the first goal from it. This was at 0-0. Hey, fair play to them. Their fans must be buzzing. Look, the 10th, they won 8, lost 9. They've scored 40 goals in 21 games.
I mean, if you're a fan of Brentford, you know there's a ceiling, but to be seeing that football must be amazing.
Definitely.
From where they come from.
If you just do the math there, okay, we're, say, slightly over halfway, but we're pretty much halfway. They're going at about a 77 goal pace.
Unbelievable.
And they
lost Tony.
So yeah, just wanted to give them the flowers.
That's fine.
We are both guilty of just absolutely blasting our teams. And look, City deserve it, because it doesn't matter how good Brentford were. In the 83rd minute, 2-0 up, with the technical ability City have and the bench that City have, you get out of there with the points.
Yeah, there's serious problems. There is serious mentality problems.
You nearly lost it.
We would have, like I said, another 10 minutes, we would have lost it. This is the problem. There is a real big issue with mentality, which, coming from a squad who has won what they have won, been to the places they have been, it makes no sense. Right, if I could see like a thing in the team where, we've got Rodri out, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be holes in the team, but there is no fucking excuse for being 2-0 up with less than 10 minutes to go and you are throwing that match. There is no excuse. And I tell you what, the whole defence does need to be looked at. Yeah. There's no coincidence. Like you said to me, it's a bit weird that you're going for 2 centre-backs and like your priority should be a centre-mid. I agree with you, by the way. We should be going for a centre-mid. I'm very shocked that we've not really been strongly linked with anyone or even bid yet. However, when you're looking at them defenders tonight, Akanji just lets him head it in. I mean, some piss-poor, pathetic attempt to challenge the guy. He challenges him after the guy's already put it in. You've got Ake, I don't even know what he's doing on the other side. He's struggling to stay on his feet. Mate, honestly, the whole defence, I've already gone into Vardiol. I don't know what he's doing. The thing is, there's no doubting going forward. He's got a bit of talent. But if this is his genuine ability at the back, then what the fuck are we doing?
I know, yeah. I mean, I just want to, on Akanji, and Akanji's been someone that I have, from a red side, sort of, I have rated Akanji really, really highly, and I thought he was an amazing pick.
He was superb in the Euros as well.
40 million. Yeah, no, he was. I mean, unless that penalty miss against Pickford's completely fried his brains, I don't know. But it's, you know what? I just wanted to ask you on the defense. So obviously the defense are struggling in their individual duels. They're losing a lot of them. I just wanted to ask you on like how you think they look concentration wise, because to me their body language doesn't look right. You know, in the first minute of the game, Aki, he stood on the halfway line under no pressure and just dobs it straight out of play, trying to pass it to Nunes. I don't know if you remember it. And it was like, and do you remember the Villa game when we spoke? It might have been our first podcast. After that, first minute of the game, I said to you, Gvardiol gifted, what's his name, Duran, a one-on-one. And it's like, to me, this I know it because I watch United weekly, and we very rarely have the right mindset, and it's like that's how I'm seeing it at the minute. Where I can't, the body language doesn't look right. You see it in the faces. Are they concentrating? I mean, Gvardiol don't concentrate. I mean, he proves that. What do you think on that?
Yeah, the concentration levels are that of a kid with ADHD. Severe ADHD. It's shocking. No, I agree with you. The body language is a real issue. I mean, you're looking at the end of matches, and it's like the goal. As soon as they got one, I was like, we're fucked. I knew for a fact that we're going to equalise. And this is the thing. This is coming from a City fan who has watched us be the top of the top. Why am I sat here? Brentford get it should have just been a consolation goal. But I know the body language, the attitude of these players. They had lost that 3 points the moment that we lost the first goal.
Yeah.
And that is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously we saw it from different perspectives, but when I came in and I saw it was 2-1, I honestly... But you know what was interesting? So I came back, went in the lounge, seen it was 2-1, sat down on the sofa, and you were piling the pressure on them. McAtee had a good effort.
Yeah.
It was across to Haaland, and it was basically you were just all over him. And I was sat there thinking, this doesn't feel right. I was sort of anticipating the onslaught. Then... literally a goal kick, City just go to complete pieces, and then it's like the onslaught's happening. But it's like, hang on a minute, literally 25 seconds ago, you were pulverising them and getting corners and shots. What the hell happened from, right, okay, like you said, they've got consolation, but we feel we can get a third if we want. We'll crank it up a notch. What happened? Where did that sort of mentality from? We've got them teetering here. We're going to get the third. To we're going to lose it.
Did you see the other week, when I sent you that message about City apparently... Listen, I don't know. It came from City Extra. I don't know the source, how reliable. But to be honest, watching us in games, I fully believe this is true. And it said the first team players played a game against like the EDS or something, like the younger lads, and they lost.
Yeah, I saw that.
In training. Right? And the thing is, I actually think it's fucking true as well, because the confidence, I have never seen a team capitulate this bad. They are not at the level they are showing. Like, the thing is, you would see some sort of ability, even if the legs are going. You'd see something, and you are seeing, like, serious bottle job moments from us. It just makes no sense. And to be honest, I don't know whether it's a deeper issue. Do you think it could be these guys have won it all, they're getting a bit complacent, and it's just going to absolute shit, and they need to be moved on? Do you think it's down that route?
Honestly, it's very difficult. I mean, the only comparison you can try and think of is sort of a Fergie team, because you've won 4 in a row. Nobody's won 4 in a row. Fergie won 3 in a row twice. And obviously, you've heard the overlap, and the Keane and Neville talks about it quite a lot, where it's like, we won the league 3 years in a row, and then that fourth one, we felt like we'd sort of got mental fatigue. But United would come third. This feels worse to me. Look, I can't remember. I'm not going to lie to you and say I remember the 2000, and it would have been the 2002 season. I'm not going to lie to you and say I can remember that season in detail. But I always felt like we would. Well, we did come top 3. This with City feels like you're in a real battle.
Put it this way: if we don't sign an 8 and a 6 of some sort of ability, we aren't getting Champions League. I'll put that out there right now.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, just looking at this, I mean, So if you look at the team, I mean, did Chelsea lose again tonight? I'm sorry, if I
They
missed
were losing when Semenyo got a second, so I don't know whether they held out. They were winning 2-1, but
just have a quick look. But yeah, um,
but then again, where are Bournemouth?
point behind you, 2-2 it was. West Ham won 3-2, City 2-2. Liverpool got a point in the end with a Jota goal. Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking at the league table, you're a point ahead of Bournemouth. Shout out Bournemouth, by the way. But yeah, Newcastle are level on points with you with a game in hand, but Newcastle are rolling and they are quite a powerful team. Newcastle fell on this midfield three, and I was watching them come to Old Trafford and absolutely roll us. And they look like one of the best midfields in the league, maybe the best. I don't.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, do you think Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai are definitely better than Newcastle's? I think it's close. You can fucking forget Arsenal's three, whatever.
Yeah, they're a different kind, aren't they? But yeah, I'd say you'd have to say Liverpool's, wouldn't you? Gravenberch has gone to another level this year. Szoboszlai looks.
But it's just the feeling of how Newcastle seem to be rounding into something, and obviously they've got the best striker in the league on form at the minute. So you're behind Newcastle, maybe 3 points after tomorrow. I assume they're I don't know who they're playing. Chelsea, isn't it funny now? Chelsea are only 2 points ahead of you.
But they're going to shit as well, aren't they? Whatever's happening with them.
No, they've not won in 5.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they're not the best team.
No, I feel you. So, Nottingham Forest, the second. Shout out Nottingham Forest. Yeah. So, look, I think are really in a top 4 battle. I mean,
of course we are. Of course we are, and that's a compliment as it stands because we look below them teams. We don't look in the same light. For instance, Newcastle. When I watch them play, do I think we're as good as them at the moment? No.
No, I don't.
Not a chance. We're not even near them, lad. The thing is, like I say, unless we sign, we don't know how good these guys are. They're going to come in. I presume that I've seen a here we go on the young lad from Palmeiras. He's a centre back. He's 18 though. He's not coming in playing every match at centre back.
Oh, is he coming in then?
Oh, he is actually coming in.
Is this Reece?
Victor Reece, yeah. So he's coming in straight away, right. 30 mil. The other guy, it's gone a bit quiet, but Romano said, here we go. So I'm guessing that's going to get over the line. The Kusanov one. But we don't know how good these guys are coming in. And that's their centre-backs anyway. We need a 6 and an 8 desperately.
So just on the signings, you've got this Reece, I forgot the guy's name, the other centre-back from Lens. Kusanov. And you've got Mamouche is the attacker that you're linked to. Are you basically saying if you sign those 3, which means no midfield reinforcemements, you will not make top 4?
Yeah, fully.
Which is pretty crazy because that's going to be a 160 mil.
Yeah, honestly, you never know what's going on in the back, do you? So you don't know if they've got something lined up already that's in the works. But seriously, if we finish this window and like you said, we've splashed that much. And we haven't reinforced the area, which everyone can see we are getting destroyed in, week out, by teams, even in the bottom half of the Prem, are fancying it us. They are coming out onto the pitch, they are fancying the midfield battle against Manchester City, and I'm watching it like, how the fuck has this happened? The thing is with Bernardo, just I'll say this. So
go for it, sorry.
With Bernardo as well, I think the reason Pep is sticking with these players is he's like, well, I trust them. I trust what they've done for me in the past, and it gives us more control in the game. Which, okay, when we do have the ball, that might be true, that Bernardo might give you more control than a McAtee. Does he really at this point in time? Probably not, because he hasn't even got the legs to penetrate another team anyway. So all he's doing is going in circles in midfield and passing it to someone else. However, when the transition is happening, Bernardo cannot cope.
I mean, you know what with Guardiola, to me, he needs to be doing. Look, I admire Guardiola massively. I think he is one of the all-time great. I mean, him and Fergie are 1 and 2, whichever order you put them in. I think there's an argument for both. But right now, Guardiola has to find something different because, like you said, it's infuriating for people like yourself to watch the same. Look, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again that's failed.
Yeah.
And you talk about the possession, and say going back to the derby, when we spoke about the balance of possession for the first time in, Christ, it might be the Fergie days. I don't even know. Maybe there was a Van Gaal one that was close in possession. I don't know. But generally, for the last 6-7 years, United have been battered on possession stats against City. Yeah. And that was around 50-50. Tonight, so you talk about we can ride Bernardo Silva if we have the ball. You only had 56% of the ball tonight. I'm just looking now. So
that's what I'm saying. It's a myth anyway. We're not even controlling games.
No, exactly. To your point, but what I'm saying is Guardiola he's seeing this game. He's also seeing the numbers, and it's like, dude, like, you're an amazing coach, and these players have been amazing for you. But how long are you not going to You could try and figure something out. You cannot play Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva in a midfield three in 2025. It's just that simple. And I think they've been amazing players, and he's an amazing coach. But something's got to give it, or you're going to miss out on top four.
I don't know why the penny isn't dropping with him at all. I really don't understand it. Like you said, Pep is the greatest manager of all time, or him and Fergie, both up there. There's an argument for either. I don't know why he's watching this and expecting different results week in, week out. He can see the problems, the glaringly obvious. The midfield cannot cope. It is overrun. They can't do it, and you keep playing the same fucking team, and then all you're doing, I'm so pissed off, lad. We're doing this, and then we're bringing on Gundo. Jesus, what are we expecting there?
The thing is, right, there's not like an easy plug and play. Look, this isn't me or you sitting here going, there's an obvious solution. However, what we're saying is, can you please try and find one? If like you're saying there, if he changed the system, Christ, this is really crossing the border here with United. But if he came into tonight and went, I'm going to go 3-4-3 tonight because we cannot cope, and at least then I would have 3 centre backs and 2 midfielders. I'll have a box of 5. We might be able to deal with the transitions better, right?
Yeah.
What he's doing is the same thing, and the subtle tweaks are making you worse. So. When I say subtle tweaks, I mean Matheus Nunes comes out of hiding to play right back.
Don't get me started on that.
I do sort of look, nobody's immune to criticism, and fans can have their say. And look, he gets paid. I'm sure he's one of the top coach. The top salary coach in the world, probably him and Arteta and Simeone are top 3, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But this is where you really earn it. Like, he is being amazing at creating these super teams for City. Now, City are not a super team right this second, but you want to see at least some trial, a little bit of trial and error, not just... Right, Brentford, athletic, great in transition, Bernardo, De Bruyne, Kovacic, run straight through us, lads.
It doesn't make any sense, and I think we are being caught out as well. We relied on Kyle Walker. I want to bring him up a little bit as well, because, it's looking like, I'm guessing you've seen, in the news, he's off.
Yeah.
And to be fair, City fans giving him shit should take a long fucking hard look at yourself, because that guy was pivotal to a lot of our trophy wins, and without him having the ability to play the way he does, wouldn't have allowed us or Pep to play these systems. He was massive for us. For instance, to compare to someone like Gary Neville, who a lot of people will say, he's the greatest of all time in the Prem, right back. My argument would be, he was a very good cog in a Manchester United side who were great. However, was he pivotal to the way you played? Did he allow you to do something different? And Walker literally has been a catalyst for us. Without him and his bailout pace at the other end, we couldn't have done what we did.
No, Kyle Walker's better than Gary Neville. It's not that it's a complete one-sided argument, and Neville was better at other things. But like you said, look, Neville was... I think, pivotal is probably a strong word to use for Neville, but him and Beckham were a real good tandem on the right hand side. For Neville was a very good crosser. He was good on the ball, but he lacked searing pace.
Yeah.
That Walker's got, and that is all. And Walker obviously improved on the ball under Guardiola, and like you said, to play the way you did, and now you're looking at it, and there's a few things that have come into fruition this season. It's not just the Walker leaving / not being at his physical peak anymore. You've got the midfield stuff that we've touched on. Your best players regressing, but Walker, I mean, it is glaringly obvious the counter attacks that guy stopped on his own.
Yeah, and I mean the one-on-one battles as well.
Yeah.
The one-on-one battles he fancied, Vinny Jr., Neymar, he has come up against the best of the best, and most of the time he comes out on top. To be honest, I'd say every battle with Mbappe, he got the better of him.
I would agree. I mean, I remember in the World Cup when he had, was it a hernia he had before the tournament?
Yeah, and he was rushed back.
Southgate said, look, I'm still going to take you because when we get out of the group, you can work out from the bracket who you're going to play in the knockouts. And there you go. We play France in the quarters like we all expected. We come to France, and I think Walker had played, I think he played a game and a half, had he? Maybe the last group game, and did he play against Senegal? I can't even remember. And then to go up against Mbappe in a quarter-final. Hold your own. I think there was one where Mbappe ran him, but he had the recovery pace. Like, to just, I mean, I've got so much respect for Walker, and look, off the pitch, he's a fucking tool, but on the pitch, I, as an England fan, and I have grown to really enjoy the national team in the last, since Southgate's come in, and Walker's been a huge part of that, and I've absolutely loved him.
Fullbacks as well, it's so hard to actually find, when you see a lot of money getting spent on a fullback, and you're a bit like, they're not a player that excites you. You're not going to see much other than what you'd just expect from a fullback. But Walker genuinely was exciting. He stretched teams. That year when we signed him from Tottenham, it just created a whole new system for Man City because he was just an extra attacker that it didn't even matter how far out the pitches was because his recovery pace was that ridiculous. He'd get back before the winger could perform any sort of attack. He was ridiculous. And what he did was he stretched teams, give the striker more space. Midfielders had more room on the edge of the box. It was unbelievable. And I think he's coming under some unfair criticism from City fans saying, he's the captain, he's leaving halfway through the season. At the end of the day, people forget he wanted to leave to go to Bayern Munich because I know he had all that shit going on off the pitch, which probably was a big reason as to why he wanted to try a new challenge. City and Guardiola got him to stay, in particular, begged him to stay, so he did. He gave us another couple of years, and he was still at top level. People forget that, and now we're binning him off, which is exactly what has happened, really. People think, he's ditching us. Well, we haven't been playing him. You've got to remember, the treble-winning season, Pep was a bit harsh on him. He brought him in against the Speed Kings, like Vinny, when we really needed that bailout pace. But when it was the big game, the Champions League final, he didn't have a problem with pulling him out the side, and he plays his inverted role with John Stones. That must have killed Kyle Walker, and he was still loyal. So anyone giving him shit, honestly, you can have a word with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, and just the general thing alone of Father Time has caught up to, it's undefeated. Father Time is always going to win. It doesn't matter who you are. And in every sport, every professional sport, Father Time will win, and how can anybody sit there and look? We've all been there. Like, look, just because you're sat there and you get pissed off at Walker losing concentration or not tracking back quick enough, you're allowed to do that. But like you said, when the whistle goes and you look back at the career and what he's given to you and the level he has played at for so long, you have to sort of show the guy massive respect and tip your hat to him. Like, I mean, we've all been there. Like, with all of our favourite players have gotten old, and all of our future favourite players will get old. I remember getting pissed off that Ryan Giggs was playing centre mid, but when on reflection look back that he was 39 and still turning out, still in good shape, still playing at a decent level for us, and was amazing for the years previous. Like, you know it, like you said, telling Walker to fuck off. It's bang out of order, and some fans need,
It's
like you
something
said.
that's really got to me this week, lad. To be honest,
Yeah, I
because
don't blame you.
I just can't believe it's these social media knobheads who aren't even City fans.
No,
You know
you
what I
can't.
mean?
Exactly, mate. You can't sort of answer for them because, like you said, you don't even know that they're just. The problem with Twitter is everybody gets a mic, and
Yeah,
and that's the problem. But yeah, I mean, there's so many, like you said, you don't even know if they are. Like, some of them could just be, United fans trolling or whatever. You don't even know. So
I mean, a
yeah,
perfect example is we bought Ben Mendy for 50 mil at the same time we bought Kyle
yeah,
Walker. And if anyone wants to give Walker shit, you think of the difference. Forget all the
yeah.
shit off the field with Mendy that went on. I'm talking about general ability. We paid the same for both players. Look
I
what
remember
that
the
guy
summer. Yeah,
gave us.
yeah,
So anyway,
exactly.
moving on from Walker, I just wanted to do
Yeah,
a little bit
well, I
on that.
mean,
See, that pissed me off in the week. I was going to say that regardless, win, draw, or lose today.
I
In
don't blame
terms
you.
of today, what's frustrating is there was actually some positives. I was genuinely going to come in, mate. There was 10 minutes to go. I was going to come on here and be like, "There's some good signs. We did look good going forward." Savio, I think, we've got a player there, but he's so raw, and really, he's not ready for the first team yet. Unfortunately, we find ourselves, we've got no one else. So he's coming in and we're having to play this lad every single game. I mean, the amount of shots he's taking and not
Yeah,
converting,
I mean,
it's not doing his confidence any favours.
he was so unlucky. I think we mentioned it half an hour ago, whatever, when we first jumped on, and it was about the sort of left-footed player on the left wing, which is something that me
Yeah.
and you spoke about in depth
Yeah.
on the opposite of this, Robin regen that's never going to happen. And how great is it to see a left footer on the left wing? And
Yeah.
today, you could have blinked and thought this is Sane from
Yeah,
2007,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
18.
There was,
And look, I mean, I'm not saying he is at that level. Yeah, he's got a long way to go, but there's glimpses when he burst through and slapped it off the post. He was like, "Oh
yeah,
Christ, we've seen that before." So, and that's amazing for I look, not even just City fans, but I'm just desperate for other clubs to take that
yeah.
approach, and certainly fucking United, hopefully. But
We did a big segment on it, didn't we? And it is
yeah,
something
yeah,
that needs to be looked at. And I'm talking wider through to academy level, well, especially academy levels, it needs to be looked at. But yeah, with City today as well, I think Haaland, I don't know what your opinion would be on this, but I actually thought his hold up play was really good today. I think I
exactly
think
the opposite of
he
what we
was,
expect.
he was dealing with scraps, but he was winning a lot of balls. He should have scored. Don't get me wrong.
Hold the play great, finishing shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which
I'd run with
is
that.
because the
I'd run
header,
with
I
that.
mean, the header off that Nunes cross, he has to.
He has got a barrier. You put it either side of the keeper, and he can't
I mean,
react.
look, it's that thing with Haaland, isn't it? His goal record is phenomenal. But look, you miss a point blank header from 6 yards out in a game you don't win. You've got to call it as a fan. Like, it
Of
was
course
a
you have,
bad
yeah.
miss.
I
So,
think one thing I will say though, I don't know if you remember this specific part of the game. There was a part where who crossed it? I think it might have been Foden. I think Foden crossed it over to the back post, and Haaland nods it back across.
yeah,
No one is there. KDB has not got the legs to be that player anymore. He's
no,
not going to be in that area. Foden was the one playing the ball anyway. That is where this signing of Marmoush could help, because the goal, mate, the goal issue with City is almost as bad as at the other end, because we've got one player who can put the ball in the net. I mean, today maybe a bit of an anomaly with Foden bagging two,
I mean,
which
look,
we
he's got,
need. That is
yeah.
massive for us.
I mean that is the. I mean, look, we can debate the details. In every single week on every single podcast, we can get into the details, and rightly so. There is sort of in-depth breakdowns, but I just want to tell you, your goal difference this season is +9, and we're over halfway through the season. So doing the math, you're on pace for about a +17 goal difference. If we just go back to last
It's
season,
able, lad.
your goal difference was +62. Season before, +61. Season before, +73. So you've gone from 70, 60, 60 down to you're in the teens
Yeah.
in no time. I know Rodri obviously is injured, and it's a dramatic fall off, and the numbers don't lie, do they?
Do you know how that's happened, though? Do you know how that's happened? It's been a very slow process that has got a bit more worrying year in, year out. So we had a lot of goals off the wings previously, like you mentioned, Leroy Sané. As much as I think the guy's shit, Sterling, did get a lot of goals for us. So you can't say he didn't. We've gone Bernardo. We had Bernardo, De Bruyne, Gundo. They'd always chip in with about 10, 11, maybe even 8 sometimes, but they'd always chip in with a certain amount of goals, and we were good for it. So it didn't. It sort of made the difference in them little games. Where we're struggling for a goal and the striker can't get one. You'll get like a Bernardo prods it in at the back post. You'll get them games. This year we haven't had anything. It's either Haaland or nothing.
At the end of the day, you're right. I mean, you go into a season, and we'll get to United in a minute and this attack of ours, but football is overcomplicated by the masses to pad out analysis. Really, you go into a season, you go, these are my attackers. You've probably got a bunch of the front three, whoever they are, plus the backups, and number 10, and like you said, the 2 midfielders. And unless you're Arsenal, that's your goal output, specifically the front four. Now, you sit there in the summer, the management, the hierarchy of the club, and you look at where those goals are going to come from, and you could almost list the players. Haaland, 30, right? We'll book that in. Look, Foden, I mean, he has fell off, and that's just one of those things, I guess. We don't, obviously, he's coming into a bit of form now, actually. But then, like you said, Doku, 4.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, injuries plus a bit of a drop-off, 5. Yeah. Bernardo Silva, he never got many anyway, 3. So even if you're sat in the summer, like to your point, and the club's going, we've sold Julian Alvarez, well, where are we going to get these goals? It's not like it's a shock. You'd say Foden's maybe 8. Probably he's on 8 less than you would. No, maybe not even that much. Maybe 7 or 6 less than you would expect Phil Foden to have. So even if you added Foden's in, you're still nowhere near the output.
Yeah, you are right. You know what? It's a very interesting point. It's a good point you make, because it is a lack of preparation, which is very weird from Pep Guardiola and City. I've always prided City. I mean, if we'd started this 2 years ago, this would be a completely different version of myself. I'd be talking very different. I've always prided my club on being ahead of everything. They know the problem before it's there. They knew Silva was coming to the end, so they're already looking. They knew that Aguero was coming to the end. They're already looking. They knew Company was going over the end, and his injuries were a huge issue. They'd already got on it. And this is the first time where, like you said, at the start of the season, so he must have relied, Pep, they must have had a conversation, the backroom staff, and gone, right, well, realistically, we're going to need Doku to weigh in with about 10 goals. Savinho to weigh in with about 10, Gundo to come back from Barca, and hopefully he gets about 10 to 15. Right, that is 3 huge claims with very little backup. The Gundogan one, bit unlucky, I'll give you that, because he was at quite a high level the year before at Barcelona. So I'll let you off slightly there. However, it is very risky, and it wasn't really a planned signing anyway. It was very opportunistic that Barca needed him off the wage bill, and we jumped at it. That was all that was. So you were planning on Savinho and Doku being your main goal scorers, other than fucking Haaland.
I mean, look, we'll get to the fucking Excel spreadsheet of God knows what them idiots were doing in the summer at United, but it is the same principle. Just ultimately, you've got Haaland and we haven't. It's the exact same.
Yeah,
principle.
mate, I said it the other day too. Yeah, we are. All we are is that we've got better fucking moments than you. But in terms of team, not many City fans would actually want to discuss that we look just as shit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said again, the numbers. Look, I know there's so many things to football, and I'm not.
Well, what's your goal difference? What's your goal difference at the moment?
You don't want to know.
Mate, I could do with some cheering up. Can you just give me a bit of a laugh?
Well, it ain't plus.
Oh, wait. Really? Oh, my God.
Fuck me. Yeah. Villas is -2, and they're 8th.
Yeah, that's a strange one, isn't it?
Bit of a weird one. But anyway, yeah. So, no, I think, yeah, I just think that football can be it can have a simpler approach to everything, and like you said, you'd love to go back, say, to July this year, and with our retrospective clubs, I'd sit down there and go and list the fucking attackers, and from United's perspective, well, never mind 70 goals, where are you going to get 60? From your perspective, okay, how many goals did City get last season? I'm guessing you got a lot. You got 96 goals last season. Okay, let's say you have a bit of a drop off. Where are we going to get 80?
Yeah, the difference is you are even worse than us in this preparation, because at least with City, you could go, like, for instance, if Pep heard what I just said, he could go, well, yeah, but we had Foden the year before who bagged 20 goals. We also had Haaland hitting ridiculous numbers.
I mean, Rodri's good for a few, isn't he?
Rodri got 9. So at the end of the day, there would be some sort of argument. United, I don't know what they're doing. Like we said, they went and got another guy from Serie A who's got about 9-10 goals.
Yeah, well, don't worry, we'll get to them in a minute. Just before, so we're probably going to be able to preview Ipswich later this week anyway.
We'll probably,
Just before we wrap up on City, you've got this daunting run. I'm sure any City fans listening to this will be aware of this looming fixture run at the end of, is it beginning of Feb? Am I right there? Beginning of Feb to mid-March, where it is just good team after good team.
Yeah, I'm really concerned. I am really concerned for that.
I mean, I'll just have a quick look here. So you got Ipswich away, which we'll get into later this week before the weekend. Then PSG is the biggie on a week tomorrow. Then it's Chelsea at home. Then it's Arsenal away. Then it's Newcastle at home. Then it's Liverpool at home. Then it's Spurs away. Then it's Forest away.
Honestly, with the team that we've got currently, there is no gimme. So it doesn't matter. You reeled off all top teams then. The thing is, if you reeled off Ipswich next, right, and I'm genuinely thinking we won't win. So the others, it's not even worth going on to them, because
I actually
we're playing. We're one pass through the fucking midfield away from being 1-0 down.
Well, I actually stopped at Brighton at home, but I probably should have included them. And then it's Leicester at home and then United away. But obviously you run towards the end of the season, I must admit. You have got Southampton, Wolves, Everton, Palace in a 5-game span. However, you can't think about that because you've got this gauntlet.
Yeah, that'll be nice at the end of the season to get us out of the relegation battle.
Just before we finish, I just want to ask you, so obviously you had the couple of wins and then you had the Salford drubbing on Saturday. I know you weren't sort of getting carried away. I just wanted to ask you on does tonight's result make you really more concerned than you already were about that fixture list at the end of, end of Jan to end of Feb? Has tonight made you a bit more, because you could have had a bit of momentum tonight. You could have won 2-0, got out of there, 4 wins in a row. You might have been going to bed tonight thinking, you know what, let's beat PSG next week. And now, are you looking at that completely differently now after that capitulation?
Yeah, in a nutshell, because I think the huge issue with City is that when we go into games now, I don't believe we're gonna win, and I don't think the players do either. I think they're massively susceptible to pressure. I don't know what's happening in terms of unless he signs a top player, and I mean a top player. We can't sign no Douglas Luiz and expect him to change our fortunes. We need to sign someone of a high level to come in as a 6 to rectify this season. You listed them games going forward. Honestly, I can't see where we're going to get a point. Yeah, you're laughing, but I'm not even saying this is trying to take the piss or make you laugh. I genuinely can't see where the points are coming. I mean, Liverpool. Yeah. Did you say, have we got Liverpool? Where's that? Liverpool at home, did you say? Yeah, well, they'll smash us. Because if we line up with a midfield of Kovacic, Bernard, if I see that fucking midfield of them, honestly, the walking zombies in midfield against their units and athletes, it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. You know Guardiola's false 9 system that he made so famous. These are the false runners.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The thing is, I think I wanted to. The The thing that I wanted to mention as well, just again before we wrap up, is we spoke about trying to find a solution to this, which he is not doing. Guardiola is not trying to find a solution for this. He is trying to keep throwing his boys at the game and hoping it sticks. However, we've just read out, like you said, you have got a Club Brugge in at home there, which is the last Champions League game, which I did skip, but I don't even know what that means. I don't understand the Champions League tables, a fucking mystery, so I don't know whether you need to win that, draw that, whatever. But the games either side of that, it's like, why not try and find something tonight? Because you've drew anyway. Like, you're going to have to find something to get something out of these games. You've got PSG next Wednesday.
Just a quick one, before we do wrap up, and it links to this. So, like you're saying, he isn't actively trying to find a solution. He's just playing the same team, the same players, and hoping they hit some sort of form or roll back the years, both of which is not going to happen, by the way. So we've got McAtee on the bench. I know Salford, I'm aware of the opponent. Yeah. I know people could say, look, the shit, that's his level, like the usual bollocks you'll get. However, why are we not giving the lad a chance? Because currently, who we are rolling out, it's not that they're in bad form. We just know they're not that guy anymore. So why aren't you giving him a chance? And I know for a fact, by the way, he's going to end up in the fucking Bundesliga before the end of this month. And then we're stuck now for the rest of the year, where indefinitely we 100% have to play Bernardo, Kovacic, Gundo.
You think McAtee's going?
Yeah, McAtee. Yeah, there's huge reports of Bundesliga that he's going to end up in Bundesliga. Fabrizio said his likely destination is going to be Bundesliga. There's like 3 clubs want him. So
we spoke about a few pods ago about United and my irk around the academy and the obsession at United. And what I would say is that if McAtee, say, let me think about this. I can't think of a United attacker off the top of my head. Garnacho's a bit more established than McAtee, although McAtee's probably better. But let's say Garnacho scored a hat-trick at the weekend. That United are giving that guy a run in the team. There's no doubt about it. He's playing.
United to give him a 200 grand a week contract.
And look, I'm not saying that that's the right thing either. But wouldn't you just like to have seen? Right?
Yeah.
He got the match ball on Saturday. Okay, so what is fucking Salford? Yeah, but Haaland would have probably scored 4 at the weekend if he'd have played. And he would, you know what I mean? He would have filled his boots. Why shouldn't he? He's full of confidence. Like you said, he's got legs. And just chuck him in tonight. Start him. Give him that. Imagine if McAtee, he nearly scored when he fucking came on anyway.
I know.
Imagine if he got one tonight. McAtee's going home tonight going, I've got 4 in the last 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Man City. And you just don't know how things can happen. I've seen it I know Rashford's now gone completely sour. But when he came onto the scene, that's all we did. He scored 2 in his debut. It was like, well, you can play against Arsenal at the weekend. Score again. Yeah. It was like, and the domino effect happens. And you just never know. Obviously he don't fancy him, does he? That's the
mate, he doesn't trust him at all, because even today he give him 2 minutes. He does not trust him. He'll probably blame him the fact we didn't win.
Yeah, which is a shame. But yeah, okay, well we'll wrap it there. Tough one tonight, but we'll move on. So we've got Ipswich Sunday. We will preview that at the end of this week.
Hopefully, mate, I'm in a bit of a better mood by then. I can be a little bit more positive. The thing is, I can maybe be able to look at this game with a bit more, get some more positives out of it. But at the moment, it's a tough one, man. You come off the back of that, and it's a capitulation. And I've seen it one too many times with my club this year. So, maybe I have missed some positives. But listen, maybe I'll be able to look at it a bit clearer.
Well, look, that's the beauty of football. You can always write a bad result because you have a game 4 days later. So, like you said, turn up at Ipswich. You like to think but there's no.
I just want to see some Foden runs again. I want to see Foden on the ball, his confidence back, and he can start making some darting runs again. And that we need that. If we don't have that, I seriously worry for this team for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see where we're at the end of this week. Maybe you might have some signings in. So, okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're probably a little bit we're a day late on the FA Cup reviews because we couldn't get on yesterday. However, Manchester United beat Arsenal on penalties after drawing 1-1 after extra time. So this was a absolute wild game, considering how awful the first half was. I think I actually text you saying, "My God, we've got another half to go of this." To go from that to one of again, I mean, this is, and I've got some questions for you about United tonight. I really want to sort of get your take on a few things.
Yeah.
So just the game itself, and we'll obviously touch on Arsenal. But what did you? How I mean, what did you think of the game? And
It was chaos, wasn't it? It was absolute chaos. When United started so flat, and I thought it's just going to saunter to a 1-0 defeat, and United limp off. And
just on the start, did you think that? Because I don't know whether I was saying this to you or I've got some of my other mates. We've got a United group that we're speaking, and I was texting them in there going, the concentration and the application isn't there today. That's how I felt at kickoff. Did you think the same? Because you watched the Liverpool game.
Yeah, there was certainly an element of that, and it just seemed very flat. It just seemed like they weren't up for it at all, which is just so odd.
Aside from how shit on the ball they were, which they were, the fouling. I think somebody ran in behind off Maguire and nearly scored. It was the whining. It was just everything.
Yeah,
it's kicking. That goalkeeper's kicking. I mean, look, we'll get to Bayern because he deserves some flowers for his performance. In the end, I have never seen kicking like it. He could not land it in between the white lines. And when I say white lines, I mean touchline to touchline.
Yeah,
I was so annoyed with how I thought the application had gone completely.
In that first 30 minutes especially, you saw the worst side of Man United and what they can do. You saw the inconsistencies that they can produce week in, week out. And then ultimately...
Okay, get the goal on the counter-attack. I think, was it Gabriel fucking slipped or whatever happened? I can't remember. Great finish by Fernandes. Awful pass by Garnacho. Can we stop bobbling these fucking passes? It's doing my fucking head in now. I'm sorry. He's probably posted about it on his fucking Insta saying he got an assist. Well, how Fernandes nailed that first time, I have no idea. But props to Bruno. Great.
Nearly came off his kneecap, didn't it?
Yeah. But I tell you got to get over that. You got to control it. And I mean, the pass is.
No, it was an unreal finish. Like, fair enough to the guy.
The same with Xerxes at Anfield. You're fucking 10 yards. Play it on. Look, you aren't playing on a Sunday league patch, boys. You're playing on basically a glorified AstroTurf. Do not be bobbling your cutbacks back. And poor Harry. And you know what? I was actually, when we did the watch along, I anticipated the social media reaction on that. Actually, there was a lot of praise for Harry Maguire across social media, which I was really happy about.
Yeah.
I don't think he's good enough, by the way, but I'm just meaning, I think there was a time probably under Ollie where he would have missed that open net and been slaughtered for it when it was a shite pass from Xerxes. And anybody who's played football knows that's your worst nightmare. Last minute, was it the Cop End or whatever end it fucking was? But anyway, got away from it. So Bruno scores. I still wasn't really thinking the performance was up to much. Then Dalot gets a red card, deserved red card. We will get to the referee in this because he was a fucking joke. But Dalot, just fucking awful first touch. Doesn't have a brain to just go, you know what, I've lost it. Marino can take the fucking ball off. Kicking out. Marino might have booed out for a throw-in anyway. Anyway, he gets himself sent off.
Marino, just one thing on him. That guy is like the garnish on a posh meal at a posh restaurant. It should be taken off as soon as you get it.
Yeah. He's fucking trash.
He's shit.
He's an absolute hologram. But yeah, so that div Dalot gets sent off intentionally or whatever he's fucking doing. The fourth fucking red card we've had this season. Captain Fantastic's had 3 of them, and then bloody Dallow's had one himself. So I was like, right, okay, here we go.
I can't believe Dalot did that. Like, why would you fly in? Like, I even said to you, if he actually catches him, he could have been a straight red. He's brain dead what he did.
He's a fucking donut. So, anyway, I just want to, this is what I think. I want to see what you think. So the Dalot red card happens. Then, I think the focus is there from that minute he got sent off. And I know we conceded that fucking scabby goal that Gabriel scored. But I felt the red card, and this is exactly what Amorim is saying, right? He's saying that the application and the concentration and the mentality is not there. It's not there. He said it was there for the whole game at Anfield, and I do think it was. But he was pissed off because he went, well, it weren't there the other week when we played Forest at home, or Bournemouth at home, and we got battered. And Arsenal, this one was perfect. We were somehow 1-0 up. The red card happens, switched on. That's it. We're in a war mentality now. We've got something to cling on to. We're pissed off. It was a red card, to be fair, so I don't know whether they thought they were...
Dude, just quick one on that before you carry on. The only time this Manchester United team seems to perform is when they're not actually up against it.
Yeah.
Like, when you're up against it, you seem to be at your best. When everyone writes you off, they look like they're like, oh, come on, let's fucking prove everyone wrong. Why are you not doing that in 0-0 when you're playing Crystal Palace?
Oh, Christian, you're so right. And so I guess from what you've just said there, you agree that the red card, the application and the mentality was bang on. Yeah. And I know they conceded. So they lump a cross in, Bayern Deer flaps at it, and Gabriel gets a deflected goal, 1-1, and you think, for fuck's sake, right, well, we've tossed this away now. And then next minute you see Fernandes isn't moaning at the ref. He's talking to his teammates. He's being a captain. He's being a leader. I thought it was De Ligt's best game for United. I thought it was like Ajax De Ligt. I thought he was like a fucking warrior. Maguire was a warrior. Martinez was pretty good. And these players, Mazraoui is always quite good. Ugarte was just doing sort of hectic stuff that Ugarte does. But again, it's that passion. And it's like, right, so now we've gone from just not being up for a shit team at home to we want to feel hard done by to get our heads straight.
Yeah.
I am losing it with this team. I don't know. I've never known anything like it. It's beyond. I dread to think what Amorim thinks, and I know after the game he didn't. He did praise them because obviously after the Anfield game he leathered them. This time he sort of took the high road a little bit and was like, look, 10 men.
You can't do that every week, can you?
Was it over an hour? Well, it must have been over an hour, 10 men, including extra time. So, and the backs were against the wall, and the referee was just atrocious. I mean, and this is again, just while we're on the topic of mentality, to be against a ref like that, who was just abysmal, to almost feel like the ref is against you and still maintain your mentality and dig in and get to penalties is amazing. And like you said, why are you not stood in the tunnel against Crystal Palace? Sorry, I don't want to hammer Crystal Palace here, but you know what I'm saying? A bottom half of the table team. Why are you not stood in that tunnel waiting to kick off with that mentality? Why is it a red card and an unfair penalty has to trigger that in your fucking heads? Like, what is wrong with you?
United and the squad need to be investigated by some sort of sports psychologist because it makes no sense. Like you say, what, did they just like being up against it or something?
And then...
They probably only start trying in the relationship when the bird's cheated. It's just fucking mad.
Exactly. And another thing, and I said this to you about 2-3 weeks ago with these two fucking idiots up front. One of them starts, I don't even have to name names, it doesn't matter. One of them will start every single game, right? Because we've got two strikers in the squad.
11.
Number 11, yeah, Charlie Gunner. So, number 9 starts, stinker, number 11 comes on, looks good. Guarantee, or maybe not Thursday, because Southampton are that bad, whoever starts might do all right, but Xerxes will start, Højlund will come on and look good. Will one of you just play well from the fucking start? I cannot believe we've got £100 million worth of strikers and they only seem to perform when they're up against it, or it's against tired legs.
Yeah, I fully agree. I couldn't agree more because like Xerxes actually did look all right when he came on. To be honest, I actually thought he got the winner.
Yeah, he was good. I mean,
the near post.
Like, he's a bit like. You know, I've got this thing where I don't like players who wear the socks down, and he does. And his play style suits having his socks down.
Yeah. No, I don't mean.
It looks like he walks. He looks like he drags his toes when he walks. You know, like that kid at school who couldn't lift his fucking toes.
No, I know what you mean.
He's a bit like that, but look, came on. Saliba's fucking got sent back to France in the second half. And you're like, what the fucking balls is going on? Do you know what I mean? So...
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what as well. You know what? United, fair play to United in that game. I'm not
Yeah.
always big on giving you boys credit, but credit where it's due because I tell you what, even from a City fan, I've got no horse in this race. I dislike both clubs. But I tell you what, you were up against you had 10 men, you were up against 12.
I mean,
It was a joke. The decision for that penalty is absolutely abysmal. And what's concerning, right? The guy there is no way he didn't see exactly what took place. He had a better view than us on TV somehow. It's unfathomable how he has given that as a foul.
Like I said, I mean, also you know, throughout the game there was incidents in the game where it was like they were getting tiki-taka fouls all the time, and then Jesus tears his fucking ACL, snapping Fernandes from behind. He doesn't give a free kick, and we was on the edge of the box there.
It was the most obvious foul.
To not get, it's like, but then, and the thing with Havertz as well. So Maguire puts his arm out, his chest runs into Maguire's hand. Havertz swings his leg. This is the joke, right? Havertz tried to do the old kick the defender and go over.
He's that shit. He can't even manage that.
He was that shit. He actually didn't. He was that far away from Maguire. He didn't even reach him. Went over. Fucking baghead of a ref gives a fucking pen.
It is ridiculous. The ref in this, you know, when people say, and listen, I've been guilty of this as well, saying, look, VAR's shit, it's ruining the game. Yeah, but the thing is, mate, if we don't have VAR, we're getting shit like that every week.
It was egregious. I mean, as well, like, you have to think that something hit him between the penalty getting given and the penalty getting taken, because Ugarte...
Yeah, Ugarte should have gone, yeah.
Ugarte, I mean, look, Havertz had him by the neck as well, so they both should have gone. VAR would have sent them both off. Yeah. Ugarte fucking cracked him with a headbutt. So,
yeah,
I tell you what, have you seen the lip reading stuff from Maguire? Maguire's completely lost it, right? And rightly so. Look, Harry he's got his critics, right? But he has been playing okay recently, and he's obviously talking to the ref, right? And then the ref's like, the ref's sort of like doing what they do, and you know, because they've not even got VAR, like you said. So the ref's just stood there. Well, I've given the pen. I can't do anything now. Maguire then just sees red, storming over to Havertz, right, and he goes, "You fucking cheating shitbag."
Mate,
it was just fantastic. But I tell you what, it was just nice to see that. Look, Ugate's a fucking idiot, and if he had been sent off, but part of me's like, I'm desperate for this team to show some fucking fight. Look, if Ugarte gets a red there, you think we would lose. But, you know, I mean, I guess you never know with how shit Arsenal are. But it was like in a way of like Maguire stomping over to Havertz, and they didn't want any of that on Sunday. Gabriel's like half fucking in between, like, fuck off, mate. So, obviously, then the penalty gets missed. Blonde hair flicks, as Lee Gunner calls him, scoffs the penalty. Great save from Binder. He's tall, isn't he, Binder? I think that's why he's good on pens, because he's 6'6". So,
well, another thing that helps him on pens, mate, is he doesn't dive 10 minutes before the run-up.
We'll get to him. That is true. So yeah, then look, we can summarise the rest of the game. Went very. But just one other thing while we're on the ref, we had the tiki-taka fouls, the Bruno fucking. Well, he yellow carded Bruno for his boot being off. The ridiculous penalty decision, and then the open net that Havertz missed.
Yeah.
Handballed it with both hands. His first touch was with this hand, it then brushed his other hand, he then missed. If he had scored that, it would have counted and we would have lost to that. Ref didn't give a handball. Martinez, if you look at the replay, that's what Martinez is saying. Fucking handball. Didn't give it. Give a goal.
Dude, I think, I agree with you, by the way. But my only point with that is, I think if Havertz, on that match, I think if Havertz would have picked the ball up and tried to throw it in the net, I think he'd have hit the bar. That lad is fucking shit. How the hell he's still in the Prem? You know when Chelsea signed him and we were all like, God, he's shit. And then only Arsenal would go and buy him and make him the highest paid player.
I've got a fantastic sort of a stat for you, by the way, on this. I'll come to it in a second. But yeah, just on, the game itself and the overview, like, back in the day when you had them games, them tight games, and it's like, it's not our day today.
Yeah,
It was so United's day. It just
Oh,
felt,
yeah. It was the ultimate.
like the delict off the line with Trossard. I mean, how did Delict not score? I mean, the fact Delict beat him to it is ridiculous. Trossard has to eat that. And then Delict doesn't score the own goal. He somehow gets it. I mean, amazing. But
What do you think, just on a cross point with Arsenal? Like, I sent you that today, didn't I? That Jesus is done. I mean, not that.
What do I think's wrong with Arsenal? I think
no. I'm just saying, what do you think future-wise for Arsenal this season? What do you think is realistically achievable?
I think they're just going to limp to top four.
Yeah,
and the way things are going, like, I'd love to wind Liverpool up, but they're going to win it because nobody else can muster any sort of challenge. I mean, what? Forest are second. No disrespect to Forest, but come on, man.
Yeah, there's no Mahrez or Kante there taking them to that some fairy tale, is there? So
Chris Wood, Anthony Alanga, and Hudson-Odoi are not leading Forest to the title over Liverpool.
No.
You like to think that if Arsenal could, but the thing is, it's so funny that the shit. I don't even want Arsenal to, but then I don't want Liverpool. I don't know. Look, can Forest somehow do something? It's
a lose-lose, but AFTV is much funnier when it's Arsenal that are on the wrong end of it. So I mean,
I think that they are in a position where they've not strengthened in the right areas and they gaffed it. And we've been watching a lot of League Gunner recently because he's just fantastic content. And people are going to be thinking. I've seen some people in the comments talking about, oh, here we go. Lee's going to start getting his revenue now because he's going to start playing up to the crowd and saying his like funny comments. But you know what? I actually can relate to the way he is specifically and his frustration around what's happened to his club.
Yeah.
Because they were on the cusp, right? I thought Arteta was... There's two things here. There's team building and whatever the hell's gone on with Arteta. But just on the team building side, to be close as they were and go and spend 65 million on a shit number 10 and play him up front when you need a striker. All you need is a striker. You're one piece for the puzzle away. Especially when they had Martinelli and Odegaard playing well. You were one piece away. And you go and spend it. You know when Ten Hag signed Mason Mount, and I was sat there that summer, and each day the reports went on, I was sat there talking to my mates, and I was going, I cannot believe a fucking guy with an apparent football brain is signing Mason Mount to play centre midfield with Bruno Fernandes. My brain couldn't actually comprehend it, and there was no way back for me with Ten Hag. You know it. That was it for me. I didn't care what he did after that. And obviously it went to complete shit anyway. But do you know my point of, he'd almost scarred me with that judgment.
Yeah.
There was no way back for me with Ten Hag because it was so awful. It's not like signing a young kid or even signing Anthony. Things like that can go wrong differently.
I agree with you. Do you think when Arteta signed Havertz, do you think he signed him as a 10, realised he fucked up and he's put him up there? Or do you think he signed him and saw him as a 9?
No, I think he was meant to play with Odegaard, with Rice sitting, and then there's been so much that's shuffled in there because apparently Rice can't sit with fucking one other guy. So
I know, yeah, they've signed 105 million centre defensive midfielder, and now he's having to be an 8, and they're going to have to buy Zubimendi as well.
Yeah. I also think that some managers who are quite inexperienced but show promise, which is probably how you would sort of label Arteta, and I would also put Ollie in that bracket of Arteta. I think that when you don't win and you seemingly peak, you need to go when you've peaked. So Ollie was the Europa League final against Villarreal. That was the end. I know he came back in the next season and he got Varane in the summer and everyone expected, and Ronaldo and Sancho, which was awful, but anyway. But everyone expected Ollie to go on and really muster a challenge, if you remember. And it just did not fucking happen, did it? I think Arteta, when he went to City last season, and he could have won the league that day, and look, their fucking fans, and on AFTV were cheering that 0-0. You go to City, and you know this. I want to say something about this. Last season, they went to the Etihad with, there wasn't that many games left, was there? I don't think. and they had it in their hands. They could have won the league that day, because if they'd have beat you, they'd have gone 4 points clear. And you know the irony of it, they went and drew to you, and they all thought that was an amazing result. Then they shit the pants to Villa at home, and then they were begging for City to drop points for the next 4 games or whatever, and including cheering Tottenham on. And you know what? City could have dropped points. They could have dropped points when you played them, but you didn't. You didn't go for it. You went for a 0-0. You went for a 0-0 and you fucking choked it against Villa. So they got everything they deserved. And I just look back at that and I think, was that Arteta's moment where that's it now? And you just look at the season. Like, the squad's not changed much. Like, how have they gone this bad?
They've gone worse, haven't they? And they just keep signing. They just keep signing centre backs as well,
like,
which isn't
that season with Ollie, where like we came back the next season after Villarreal, and okay, Ronaldo came in, but we were playing Cavani. Like, it wasn't like we'd completely overhauled the whole squad, and we were awful. We were like 6th, 7th. He got sacked. Remember, Ollie got sacked in December with that team, and you just look at that and you just think, that was the time. Villarreal was the moment, and I think Arteta's now gone past it.
Oh, without doubt, I agree with you.
It's not fell to the depths of Ollie, because we were 8th. You know, we were getting lumped 4-1 by Watford. But also this set piece coach.
It fell into the Arsenal. The Arsenal team this year just fell into a very, very strange bout of chaos. Like, they're playing for set pieces, they're wasting time. I tell you what, think how bad. I would love to see the statistics on this, actually, how much wasted time there was in that game. And I'm putting none of that on Man United. They were down to 10 men. They had to do that. You've got to shit house a little bit to get over the line. However, Arsenal were wasting time against 10 men. What? Who is coming up with these instructions? What? I don't understand this, because I'm hearing this thing of like, oh, well, it could be to do with like aura and things. Like, this is why they take ages on corners. Like, you know, like trying to, I don't know, put the frighteners on defenders or something. The thing is, from corners, they've not been great recently either. So even that's going to shit. And now,
right.
Well,
football now, like the way Arsenal are playing football now is they're playing it, in my opinion, almost through a simulation. It's gone, you know, the freedom of the Arteta team 2 years ago, which I actually thought was better than last year's. I know they didn't get as many points, but I thought that was more fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
So they've gone from that freedom team with probably worse players.
Yeah.
Like, they've gone from Xhaka to fucking Rice and shit. Like, how has this gotten worse? I don't know. But now they're playing it through numbers, and it feels like they're sitting down on a laptop and looking at all the numbers, and sports psychologists and all this. Have you seen this latest one with penalties? When somebody gets a penalty in a game, and everyone's fucking doing it now. So obviously some sports psychologist has worked this out, where, so your penalty taker is Haaland, say. Bernardo Silva will pick the ball up, and he'll be standing over it like he's going to take it. Last second, Haaland will come in and place it and take it. They're all doing it now. It's like,
because it was Gabriel. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Football now is being played. It's being played, but Arsenal are doing it on everything. It's like, you know, NBA and NFL, and they have a million timeouts a game. I know you don't watch either, but I watch. Yeah. To be fair, I don't watch NFL, but you know, in NBA, when it's the last 5 seconds and the coach draws up a play on a whiteboard, but it's 5-on-5 and the court's tiny. What they're doing is, every time they get a corner, they're trying to draw up a play.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking... Stop taking the fun out of football. Get the fucking corner, take it, and attack the ball. What is this? Oh, you at the back. And you said then the delay tactics. You know what that is? That's intentional. A sports psychologist has looked at that and gone, the longer somebody takes, the defending team's concentration drops.
Yeah. Yeah, no, true. And not only that, when they were doing this, it was in, maybe it was about the 91st minute, and there was plenty added on. They got a corner, and they're wasting time. They're dicking around like sauntering over to the corner flag. I'm thinking, every moment that goes by, Man United's chances increase of going through, and yours lessen. So why are you taking ages? If that was me, right, my team anyway, I would want De Bruyne sprinting over to the corner flag, and that I think that shits the team up more because the team that's defending for their lives with 10 men, they're like, fuck's sake, I'm on my arse, I'm puffing out my arse here, there's another corner being whipped in, get that in, if you get another corner from that, run over to the other side, do it again. Then what? They're sauntering over, pick mud out my boots, I'll have a look over my shoulder. What are you doing?
Get a yellow card.
Oh, lad, I tell you what, with City, at least, I'm going through the mud a little bit at the minute, but in fairness, I can't really argue. We've had a fucking very good time of it.
Yeah.
I've had a few years of gloating. So, but with Arsenal, I cannot imagine. Well, this is the thing. If I was Arsenal, I would be fucking League One. I might be worse. The frustration supporting that club, man.
To all the Arsenal fans out there, if any of them somehow watch this minute of this video on YouTube, who was your set piece coach when in the Henry days? Please tell me. Do you even fucking know? Did you even have one? Or did Arsene Wenger say when you get a corner, lump it in the middle and hope Sol Campbell attacks it? Because that's what football fucking is. Football is not a freak sat there on the bench with a fucking iPad moving cursors around the screen. Yeah. Football's impulsive. The reason we love it is because anything can happen at any moment. Arsenal are drawing everything back to this. Oh, fucking Timber there. And you see this, have you seen it where Arteta actually walks away from the technical area and tags in his fucking tag team partner when they've got a corner?
It is ridiculous.
Sorry, what? Arteta, you're the highest paid coach in the world, I think, or you top two, him and Simeone. And what you're saying is you have to tag in a buddy off the bench to tell your team how to attack a fucking corner.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate.
And I feel like, as well as that,
piece shit.
There's a bit of a ceiling to it as well. I think this set piece thing, teams get wise to it, and this is why they're not having as much success with it now. So the focus they have put on it, they've based their fucking season around this.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're not scoring from them. They've got no goals from anywhere else. I mean, Trossard, is he going to be getting moved on soon? Because they clearly don't fancy him. Havertz is the guy up front. I don't know what. I mean, that clip that I sent you today where Arteta's going, a couple of weeks ago, they were singing the Waka Waka song. Mate, there is a severe problem with that club. Why have they got a manager crying that they're not singing his name anymore?
No, I prefer the Waka Waka remix from Lee Gunner.
Yeah, I do. I think that's a much
60
better
million out the bank. Kaya Havertz is fucking wank. That's my favourite. But yeah, look, they are, like you said, from our perspective, we should hate each other's teams more than we hate Arsenal. But there's something about that fucking team and manager. How are they reducing football to this?
Dude, it's not only that as well.
Fucking thing, mate. It's doing my head in.
It's not only that, mate, as well. Some of their characters, like, don't get me wrong, every fan base, you have a section where even you don't want to communicate with because you know they're just fucking thick. But Arsenal must have the larger percentage of them sort of fans. I mean, some of them lads that go on AFTV, I can't believe what I'm hearing. They're saying they're writing to the PGMOL. But then, what? So what are you going to do this week? I actually left a comment on one of the videos and I was like, it's funny, not one person's mentioned the refs this week. Usually, you're all bang on about it. You're not asked today. But next week, they'll have one minor decision go against them, and all of them will be like, oh, this is it, there's a conspiracy. Oh, fuck off. This is why you'll never win a Prem. You're all shit.
Yeah, like I said.
You all feed into Arteta's bollocks. That's why he's laughing and getting away with still being in a job, because all you crybabies are the fucking same as him.
That's the thing as well. Like after, when we played them in the league, and I thought we did okay in that game with no attacking threat, but we know that. But I thought we dealt quite well with it, and then they lumped 2 corners in and scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
So we've played them twice at their ground under Amorim, and Amorim's only been there a couple of months. They've scored 3 goals. They've all come from set pieces. 1 by Timber, 1 by Saliba, 1 by Gabriel.
Yeah, exactly.
They're fucking depressing. It's actually... and you know what? I do look at like Lee Gunner, and I know not just him, I know there's plenty of Arsenal fans that have now had enough. I know where he is at. He knows this club is doing nothing under Arteta.
No, it's regressing.
I've been there recently where I knew it. I knew it with Ten Hag. I knew that my club was going nowhere. I had to sit through a season of hell because he had injuries apparently, and that's why it was bad. And then he wins an FA Cup somehow, and then I had to sit through a further 11 games and another transfer window because of that result. And I know that Arteta could be there a while, man. This ain't going.
Oh yeah,
because they could come second. Look, we've just been looking at the league table. We think Forest are going to slip naturally because they've not got the talent level. City aren't going to probably push for second. Chelsea are going to be in a top 4 battle with you at the minute.
yeah.
So Arsenal might just come second by default. So they're not going to sack Arteta.
The crazy thing about Arteta, I don't know why people aren't piling on him. The amount of money he has spent, I don't understand this love affair from the Arsenal, well, a certain section of the Arsenal supporters. Yeah. Why there's this obsession with him? What has he actually done? He's won you that FA Cup. At the end of the day, if we're going to boil this down, Ten Hag's reign is going to go down as more successful than Arteta's because you don't get any presents or prizes for coming second and giving City a bit of a run to the title.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Look. Lad, I haven't even finished my selection box and their title charge is fucked again.
Yeah, look, I probably won't go that far just because I do think you've got to credit. Look, I haven't been in the club I support and love has not been in a title race since Fergie was in charge. So I've got to give it to Arteta. He has. Look, you're right. Nobody's going to remember that Mikel Arteta took Arsenal to the last day of the 2024 season. However, look, your league performance is important, and as a fan, I remember title races that we lost out on. I remember losing out to City with the Aguero goal. I remember losing out to Drogba on the last day. I do remember those seasons. Like, it's not just... I know what you're saying. History won't reflect on that. You don't get a medal. But as a fan, to be in a title race is great, and I miss it. So I wouldn't go that far personally, just because of that.
I do get your point, right? I understand your point, and I do agree with a lot of it. I mean, most of the time, my team has come out on top in recent years, so maybe I'm looking at it a bit different. The only thing I would rival what you've just said with is that if you finish second and you can see that the trajectory is that you will then finish first eventually, then that's fine. Unfortunately, like we've both just been discussing with Arteta, do either of us see the trajectory resulting in a Mikel Arteta and Arsenal Premier League title? And the answer that we're both coming to is no. So therefore, all I'm saying is facts are facts. The reign of Ten Hag will go down as more successful. Am I saying that, you know, were Man United better under Ten Hag? No, of course they fucking weren't. However, the facts are the facts. And if Arteta has peaked and this is what they're left with now, and how much more money are they going to have to give him? Because you're going to have to go out and buy bloody Isak. How much is he going to cost?
They're not going to get Isak. Well, why the fuck would he even go there? But I just while we're on that sort of thing with Arteta, like I said, I do think that it peaked towards in the title running last season. Okay, if it wasn't the City game, it was the Villa game, and I do think that up until that point, in fairness, we did think that they were very, very close to winning it, not just mathematically, just sort of a piece away. However, we've seen it so many times. Like I said, I saw it under Ollie where you felt he was building something and then the iceberg snapped and then that was it. The team was completely broken. They were mentally gone after that Villarreal loss on penalties. And I do think the same has happened now with Arsenal where you're right now. Yeah. But yeah, I just think that, I'm not going to go like... I'd take a Carabao Cup over 2 title chases because they I mean, obviously last year went to the final day. The season before, they were on a 100-point pace at the halfway mark.
Yeah.
With worse players, by the way. They were fun to watch. They were last-minute goals. Do you remember they were like 2-1 down? They were winning 3-2 at home.
Yeah.
Battering teams. This was without Declan Rice.
They even had that at the start of this season. I don't know what has happened since it was at the very start. They were still looking like the team from last year, and then whatever has gone on, I really don't know. I know they're going to blame injuries, but even when Saka was here, that you could see the problems. And not only that, so if you're going back to, you know, Arteta and things like that, I just don't know where it leaves them in this situation that going forward, what are they going to have to do to get over the line? I think I agree with you. that last year was when they peaked, but I think this season is more damaging to the club and to Arteta especially. City have dropped off, and they have dropped off as well with us. There was a huge thing.
Yeah.
We can't win it because Pep's too good. City spend too much money, which is a false narrative anyway. However, that was what they were doing. City have fell off. We are shit. And they have fell off as well. And Liverpool are going to take it. And they don't even look good. So this season is more damaging to Arteta's reign than any of the previous ones where we've picked them, whether he's peaked or not. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. How do you recover from this? Because, like you said, you've been waiting for. Well, look, it's pathetic that you're waiting for this opportunity. They had this opportunity in their hands. You went to the Etihad and you bought a 0-0, and you paid the price. Forget the Villa game. Things like that can fucking happen.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've seen it. I saw Fergie. We choked the Aguero one. People forget we were about 7 points clear, and I know we lost to you in the running, the company header.
Yeah, you had that. You had the games like Everton, didn't you? Was it Everton at home?
Drew 4-4 against Everton.
Yeah, crazy man.
4-2 up, and we lost away at Wigan in that title running. You can't be blaming other people. What's frustrating for me, like I said, it was clear as well. Arteta went into that game to beg for a 0-0, and you just think the team, why not just go for it? Like, you could have won the league. That they could have still lost to Villa and won the league.
Dude, it's second best mentality, so they deserve second best. They got the trophy. They bloody went for.
They deserved it because, like you said, you go and they don't. Nobody hands you the title, except maybe this year they might get handed it just because everyone else is so crap. But in a season where teams are good, like last season, you call it winning a title.
Yeah.
Why did you not go and win it at the Etihad when City? You weren't as good as the season before. Arsenal were ahead of you. Go and win the fucking league, man.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, the Vieira, Henry, Wiltord, Pires, Ljungberg team would have gone to Old Trafford and tried to win. Wenger would never have done that. So,
because it wasn't even in them to play that way anyway. So they couldn't have even done it even if they were told to. So
yeah, I mean, fuck, yeah.
What did you think then? So just going back to United, what do you think going forward? Obviously, you got the dub. You've gone through in the cup.
Yeah.
Are you expecting some sort of building momentum on top of it, or?
Look, for me, it comes back to what Amorim said after Anfield, and I'm probably going to repeat this every single week till the end of the season now, and probably going into the next season with the mentality and how these players are coming into games.
Yeah.
So look, Amorim can stand there now and he can say, "I won at the Etihad. I won with 10 men, through penalties at the Emirates, and I nearly won at Anfield with my 3-4-3 that everyone says is shit. So don't be fucking saying to me, if we lose to Southampton on Thursday, that it's because I played three at the back. Because I went to the three, not the three best teams in the country at the moment, but you'd probably say the three hardest away games still. And I should have won all three with it. So don't be saying to me, a team with 6 points, I need to go and play 4-2-3-1 because you don't like three at the back. So look, let's see what happens. I want this mentality to sort itself out. The attacking is fucking shit at the minute. We have to sign a fucking attacker. We have to get a forward in January. I'm sorry, we've got to face facts with this. People on defending Højlund on Twitter going, "Oh, service." Well, I tell you what, let's put me up front, right? And when I don't score for the rest of the season, I want the same excuses as Højlund when there's no service for Alex Udale, so what's he meant to do? We'll just put any fucker up there.
Yeah.
But you're the centre forward for Man United, mate, and you're 22 years old in a couple of weeks, so you're not that young. And also, why are you not able to drop in, get hold of it, turn, create something? You're the striker for Manchester United. You're not fucking Kevin Davis, who needs to stand in the box and wait for crosses. Do something more. I expect better from my strikers at Man United to just go, service. Well, no, let's get Martial back then and use the fucking service thing for him, and he'll just stand up there.
The bar at Man United, right, is so low, and I think the fans what the fans accept feeds into why the ownership and the board has gone as bad as it has. Because if the fans appear to be happy with the dross that they're giving to them, then why are they going to go out and spend more? I mean, especially when your owners predominantly have been the Glazers. Fuck me. If your fans are gassing up this shite, you're just feeding into exactly what they want. They're like, well, yeah, you're all happy. You've got that guy up front that you all like.
I mean, you make a great point. I mean, look at Arsenal today. They've gone and signed Subimendi, which we missed before. I know it's happening. Sorry, it's happening in the summer, but you can't help but think it's sort of the fanfare chaos that's going around Arsenal at the minute that's made them do it. A bit of PR, a bit of but he's also a very good player. He's also going to help them because he's better than Thomas Partey. So, and the corpse of Jorginho, they keep rolling out every so often. But like you said, you look at United and you think, we've got £100 million worth of striker talent up front. They cannot fucking score. And all people say, nobody will go. Like you've touched on it in the last pod about Højlund. That fucking dope's tweet when he was saying, well, other strikers have struggled at his age. But the thing is, it's like, why aren't you going? Rasmus Højlund is good at this. All people do, they talk in these codes that have no substance. There's nothing like, what does his no service mean? Well, are we just going to leave him? See, but it's the same people that will go, Garnacho, I hope he don't go to Real Madrid. Bruno Fernandes has created the most chances in the fucking league and he's the best fucking signing we've made post-Fergie. But then they'll go, Højlund doesn't get any service. Well, which one is it? Because you can't have everything. Exactly. If he don't get any service, well, we need to fucking sell every single creative player behind him there. Because then
tell me this then. What kind of service does the guy need? That's what I'd ask them. What are his strengths? What do we need to play to? Who do we need to sign to bring the best out of him? And they couldn't fucking answer that because they've no idea themselves. They just say these throwaway comments like, oh, well, he'll come good, potential, the key word bollocks.
I saw a tweet about, we need to look at the way Atalanta played him and play it in behind. Right. I'm sorry. When have Man United been... I've been reduced to our knees this season, trust me. But I am not going to this point of that we have signed a road-running fucking centre-forward that is only good when he shuts his eyes and runs that way. I'm sorry. I'm not having it. I'd rather just sell him for nothing and sign another fucking player. Like, where have we got... Honestly, I'm thinking about these fucking strikers I've watched in my life at Man United, and I've got to listen to the blind witnesses on Rasmus Højlund that he doesn't get any service. Go and get the fucking ball, mate. Muscle your defender off, turn and run at the back four and create something. Maybe even get a shot off. You know the goal. I want you to do something for me when you're watching United, and if he fucking plays on Thursday, and look, it's Southampton, so you can't take much away. Just my caveat in case he does score, by the way. No, seriously, right. Watch Højlund's movement. This is the flip side to the service issue, right? When we're on an attack, he runs directly at the goal every time. There's no dummy near post, far post movement. There's nothing. Like
football, like you.
Like under 10s football when some kids got it and everyone just runs towards the box. That's what he does. Look at Bruno Fernandes' goal at the weekend, right? Garnacho only has Bruno because Højlund just looks at Raya and runs straight towards him.
Yeah. He'd play the same way with he'd play the exact same way with the blindfold.
And this thing about age, he's 22. He's not 18. He's 22 in Feb.
Do you think, I've just got a question for you, right? So, listen, this will be a bit controversial because I know a lot of United fans, maybe even including yourself, will say he's been our best player, best attacker or whatever. I just think... No. Player I'm going to bring up. So United going forward, right? You've just rewarded Diallo with a new contract, right? So the problem that I see, and it's not me trying to take the piss because I'm a City fan or whatever. Genuine viewpoint that I have is that United's problem, you just aren't. You don't seem to be getting it through to anyone that you keep rewarding these very average players. They have a few good games. I mean, let's be honest, this Diallo thing, right? So United are going to go, oh, well, he's been our best player this season. Okay, right. But is he going to be the guy going forward that is capable of winning you titles. Honestly, can any Man United fan seriously say that? Or is he even good enough? This is a question, right? Is he even good enough in an Alex Ferguson era to be a squad player?
Yeah. So Diallo's a bit of a weird one because I do ask myself the same question, and I want every United fan to ask themselves the same question of, like you just said, is he good enough to start for a title winning side? I don't care if we're 17th in the league. I don't care if we get relegated. We still, Manchester United, should be aiming to win the league. And if you are paid to be at this club and you are starting at this club, you need to be judged against, can you start to win the league? Which obviously we know a lot of them can't, but you need to, at the end of the day, we're going to sell players. Diallo is a little bit he's on the side of technically gifted player, right? Which for United, we haven't had many players like him in the last 4 to 5 years that looks after the ball. We have pacey, hit and run dribble merchants who can strike it. So Diallo, to me, he's not star-studded, talent-popping sort of player, but he gives us something that I've not seen for quite a while, probably since Mata left.
Yeah.
And he's in the category of I'm willing to see more.
Okay, so fair enough.
I ain't going to say he's good enough to start on the right wing to win a league because I cannot say that right now. However, he put it this way, right? I'm not fully shocked. You know when some players fall off a cliff form-wise? Rashford is a very good example of that. Their skill set leans itself to inconsistencies. Like I just said, it's hit and run, unpredictability, running into traffic, might get out of it, might not, ball striking type of player. Diallo he's got a very good first touch. He's very secure on the ball. He's smart. He grafts. His shooting is okay. I think he needs to work at it a lot more. His ball retention's quite good. So there's the skills in Diallo that I really want to see more of.
That's fair enough.
Whether that leads to a league title is, look, we know how good you've got to be to win a league title, mate. This isn't anything sort of heavy criticism. Marcus Rashford was never good to win a league title at his best.
The reason I bring it up is just for this reason. So with a normal club, rewarding a player like Diallo with a contract on the back of his performances this season is not an issue. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying this guy should be sold. If anyone takes this the wrong way, that's not what I'm meaning. Yeah. What I'm meaning is United have a serious problem that they gas up these players, and all of a sudden you'll get to the summer and go, no, we don't need anyone in that position because we've got Amad Diallo. That's where you will never progress, because ultimately you've got a guy there that you know will never take you forward much more than what you are. Yeah. And that's where I'm just saying, I've no problem with rewarding guys like that with a contract, but know that they're not going to be what you're making them out to be. So know they might just be a squad player in the future, and you still need to get better than that.
I think the good thing with Diallo is that he's not going to fall off a cliff performance-wise. He's always going to be consistently quite good because he's technically sound and he has got a very good touch to him. Whereas Garnacho, Højlund, fucking Xerxes, Rashford, these types of players, they're going to have moments where they just can't keep the ball on the pitch. So the good thing with Diallo is that I don't think we're going to get a season where he looks like a League One player, which unfortunately is where Man United are at the minute. And I'm willing to see him in a better team and see what we can do.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him in a sort of a system that hopefully Amorim can create, and we can create some territory where he can...
The old Christmas tree formation.
Yeah, a lot of the ball in the final third and not be running relays at right wing back. So look, I don't think Diallo is the second coming of Jesus Christ. However, I'm desperate for players like him.
I think my point is, it's easy to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not good enough to get a contract reward, because he actually does, and I don't mind him myself. I'm just meaning for the places you want to go, United need to be aware that when you get to the summer transfer window, it's like, say, Arsenal, when they want to challenge City, Say if they were gassing up someone like Smith Rowe, going, oh yeah, like, you know, he's this class player, and then all of a sudden they didn't sign in that position, and they're going, oh, well, one short because we didn't have that player. Hang on, you did, because you all gassed him up and said he was. I'm not saying Arsenal did this. I'm just giving a perfect example of where this sort of situation can go west a little bit.
Yeah, I think Diallo can be a contributor. You know, whereas like say some of these other strikers that we've got at the club, like I've just mentioned them all, there is going to be stretches where they lack technical ability and IQ. Yeah. Whereas we're touching on Højlund now, he's got like 2 league goals this season, which is just fucking shocking. And they're going to go through these stretches because they lack the basics of football, whereas Diallo is gifted in that respect, where he is very secure on the ball. And you know, you look at sort of a Saka type player. If we could get him to that sort of role and the way Arsenal manipulate attacks to Saka's side, that I would look. I'd like to see Diallo in that system, and hopefully he is very good or he improves. But he's definitely worked on his physical attributes. I've got to give the guy credit. And
for sure, yeah.
And the goal against City, I know Gavardio fucked up, but it was good. It was good athleticism to get that touch the way he did. And I know he didn't catch the volley perfectly, but to control it on the up was very good skill, and he has shown moments of that. So, yeah, I think I'm not looking at Diallo going tick. Not yet. I think
that's all United fans, and particularly Amorim and the board, need to be wary of. That they seriously need to be looking in every area. If you want to get back to being serious and challenging for titles, and not just going, oh, here's a player that's had a good few games, he's the answer. You've got to really look into depth, and if you want top class players, you've got to be looking at the top of the top if you want to get back. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, look at Liverpool. Like Gakpo's improved loads. Diaz has been really good this season. Salah's probably the best player in the world at the moment. So and Szoboszlai's been pretty good at the number 10. So you see that every single season. Look at who's won the league and look at your players and think, are they anywhere near him? And United are not. Fucking, we're 13th for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
I just want to just before we wrap up. So I was thinking this on Saturday. So it's been another just pure chaos season for United. Sacked another manager. The team's got shitter. And we are in the FA Cup. We won it last year somehow. Fuck knows how. And we beat Liverpool and City on the way to it. I really want to get your perspective on this as a rival fan and somebody who has been on the wrong end of it.
Yeah.
What is your feeling towards United being like, they're almost like this weird team to play against in cup games, right? We're not very good. How do you sort of go into facing United as a rival fan? How do you feel when, obviously you had it in the FA Cup final and you had it the other week in the league where we're trash and then we come in and turn up a little bit? Like, what do you feel as a fan? Like,
so honestly, this is what I'd say in response to that is United. I'm not going to gas United up too much, but Man United as a club, no matter how shit they've been leading up to the game or even in the season in general, they always have that kind of aura behind them that, you know, it doesn't matter even who's got the shirt on. You know the history, and you know they can bumble their way to a final and somehow get over the line, like you just said. You know, similar to sort of, I'm not putting you in the same bracket, right? But in a way I am, like a Real Madrid side where, you know, some of the Real Madrid teams that have won Champions Leagues and they've been shit.
Yeah, like the domestic version of that,
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I'm not putting in that level, but you are doing a same sort of thing, and that's the best way I could describe it. That I believe you could turn up to these games. I mean, you going to the Emirates and getting through. I don't know how you've done it. Who would have said you'd have gone to Anfield, right? And you should have won. You went to the Emirates and you did win, albeit on penalties. Who would have predicted that? What were the odds?
Yeah.
You did, like you said before, you'd have got better odds on Gemma Collin being the next James Bond.
But seriously, right? Like with 10 men as well. And even when you get to penalties, I mean, I text you around the 112th minute or whatever, and I was like, who the hell are our takers here? I mean, because like you said, I didn't really look at Diallo and be like, banker. I had Fernandes as a banker, and that was it. Like Diallo, okay, I did. I was thinking Diallo was, well, God, fucking hell, I thought if he missed, we are fucked. But Diallo and Bruno, and then I said to you, who's going to take the next three?
As it happens, they could have got 5 piss heads from the away stand. And all they would have had to do is watch Raya dive the wrong way and put it into the empty net.
Obviously, if I'd have texted you at the 112th minute and you'd have replied, don't worry, Alex, Raya is going to run to the corner flag before all your players have kicked the ball, I would have relaxed, right?
Oh, God, mate. I couldn't believe that some of the... Oh, that still that you sent me, and he's past the post.
What was he diving for? Was he diving just in case Yoro put it wide and he wants to save it? Like, what was you thinking? But so yeah, look, I mean, yeah.
Mate, he might have been the only... He could have been the only keeper in history to dive the right way for the penalty and go past it.
Yeah, it actually got inside his legs. Yeah, I just wanted to... Because for a lot of United fans, and you know me, I'm not like the most optimistic. I mean, look, for fucking good reason. I mean, some of my friends think I'm a little bit negative, but we are 13th, and we were 8th going into against the 4-time champions in the FA Cup final. So when for me, you know what my approach will be. I'll just go, we're fucking shit, we'll lose, and that is how I feel. But it's interesting to get because I saw it was a tweet on Sunday. I'll just read it out for you. It just made me think of asking you, to be honest. How United keep doing this blows my mind. They've been dog shit for 12 years, but still managed to be the ultimate party poopers. And I just wanted to ask you, because obviously, when you think how bad some of it's been post-Fergie, and Guardiola hasn't got that amazing of a record against United.
No, I know. I
think he's won more than he's lost, but I think it's maybe 1-9. I think United have won 7 or something. So it's fairly close.
No matter how shit you are, I think this is the best way I can put it, other than what I've already said, is that no matter how shit you were, when I was going to the games, when I had a season ticket, I still got nervous for that match. And you were going there with Dan James in the front line, man. So that's what I could tell you. And I suppose maybe that feeling transcends into other teams, other fans, and that's how you get through these situations. That would be my only way of saying how you're doing it, because ultimately that guy's right. You're looking at the lineup, you're looking at the team, and you're like, how the fuck are they capable? It was even when you faced Newcastle and you won the League Cup.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to lose that.
Weghorst.
Weggy, yeah.
When you think of say Tottenham,
he's better than Havertz, though, to be honest.
when you think of Tottenham, is a really good example, because they've had a good stretch by their reckoning, and certainly under Poch they were really good. I mean, they were coming second, weren't they, and they got to a Champions League final, but they didn't win anything. If you look at the post-Fergie, everyone has the post-Fergie day in their mind and goes, post-Fergie, shit, right? And we know it's not been that. That's quite harsh on probably one of Ollie's seasons, maybe 2 of Ollie's seasons, if you're being kind. Maybe Ten Hag's first season was okay, and Mourinho's first season won 2 trophies. I think of it and I think, right, Van Gaal won an FA Cup, right? Mourinho won a League Cup and a Europa League. Ollie didn't win anything, unfortunately, thanks to David De Gea. Did his best Raya impression. And then Ten Hag won 2 trophies. You think in that time, we've won 5 trophies in this shocking 12-year span.
Imagine what you could do if you actually got some good players and a decent manager.
I know, because like you said, Christ, the oral got through the fucking roof.
I think, honestly, well, what would you say on, mate? Obviously, I've answered your question. Would you kind of agree with my take on it?
It's just a really interesting... I've just not thought of it, because because of my approach to games is always God, we're fucking shit. We're just going to...
Yeah, you're going to look... Well, the thing is, you're damaged by what you've seen for the last 40 games on average. So you're just going, well, I'm going to watch it again.
Exactly. And they are capable of I do think that sometimes as well, the manager at the time will do something good, which Ten Hag was just fucking awful for 98% of the season. In the last 3 league games, decided to sack Højlund off and playing with no striker, and go with 4 centre mids, and we actually won the last couple of league games and then beat City.
It just makes me laugh how you worded that. You were like, sack the striker off, and we started scoring some goals.
Yeah, it's fucking true.
It was funny because I know you do some Hoyland fucking hate, but you weren't even trying to slate the guy. Then it was a genuine assessment.
Well, it was the fucking truth. The guy who paid 70 mil for him dropped him for the FA Cup final to play no striker.
I know. That was
we
the best
scored probably one of the best goals we've scored in about fucking 10 years. So, yeah, I mean, look at it, mate. It's amazing to think, like, I've got to be honest, like, thank God we do have this sort of cup fucking ability, because otherwise it'd be nothing absolutely shocking. We've come second twice and the rest of it's been shit. So, yeah, look, we've had some, and now we've got Leicester at home, and you think, right, win that, you're in the 5th round, and we saw what happened last year. And you do start thinking, well, if Amorim could get it together, and Europa League's there to be won. I mean, every year, but it feels like every year we're in it, and then Sevilla beat us. You know, it's the same story. But
the joke is, you could end up in Champions League, and we could not.
Yeah, exactly.
If you win the Europa, which, like we just said, that's very doable. And City are not looking like getting Champions League currently. So
you think Tottenham will go out at some point of that? Even
just a quick one on that, actually. Do you think, did you see them quotes like a few months back? And Ange said he was getting a load of shit in the press, and he was like, well, I always win a trophy in my second season. And he's obviously won the first leg. Do you actually think they could get over the line in that?
I think they could beat Newcastle, yeah.
But do you think they're going to get past Liverpool? Do you think they'll get through Anfield?
You got to say no, aren't you? Just because it's Anfield.
The history of the Tottenham.
Yeah, the history of the Tottenham.
Yeah.
I feel for Ange. I just think, what a shame if we lost him from the Prem, because, you know, like I was talking about Arteta before, and he's dragged this amazing sport that we all love down to numbers on a spreadsheet and fucking NBA plays out of bounds. And you've got Ange, who is just, we are going to score one more than you. And you know what? And that game tonight I fucking love that game tonight. Brentford and City, 2 teams, back and forth, like a basketball game, but football. Not taking a million timeouts and delaying everything. 2 teams, okay, not the best structurally, admittedly, and you're fucking pissed off. But from the Anfield game, nobody was like, "Who's Liverpool's set piece coach?" Fuck off, mate. We're playing a game of football. Like, so.
Did you see? Did you ever see that Yaya Toure team that he did? Where it was like his best all 11, and he just put like a striker in every position apart from net. And I think he considered putting one in net as well, right? And when you were just saying about Ange, right? Have you seen that he's just got Yaya Toure? He's just got his badges to become a coach. And I'm just thinking, you know what? Tottenham should just do the funniest thing ever. make him Ange's number 2 and just watch absolute fucking chaos.
No, honestly, I was going to say to you, like, at some point this season, we've got to get my mate on who's a Spurs fan. And
definitely. Like, I would actually be interested to hear, because I hear a lot on TalkSport, and it's very mixed, isn't it? Some are happy, and then a lot are really against Ange and want him out. What is his perspective? Is he Ange out?
I mean, I've not seen him for a bit. I didn't actually see him over Christmas. He was away with his family, and I've not seen him in Jan. But before Christmas, well, me and him went out for the Carabao game, you know, the United game.
Yeah.
And he is sort of talking about a trophy being important this season. But I still think, even if Ange doesn't win a trophy and they finish 10th, I still think he's happy to give him another crack.
Mate, they've got that thing about them, Tottenham, you know, where Arsenal absolutely ruined them for the trophy issue. Do you remember when you had that banner up in OT and it was like 35 years or whatever the fuck it was like at the time, and United were just trying to like wind us up? We were pretending we were arse, but it was becoming a problem, and we were really bothered. Yeah. And then ultimately we got over the line, and it was the best thing that ever happened. I think they need to get over the line. If he's the man to win them a trophy, you cannot get rid. You've got to let him roll with it.
Yeah, no.
So
I mean, look, Levy would have sacked him already if he wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We might be waiting for the night before the cup final, and.
Oh, that just sums Mourinho up, though, wasn't it? They were like, Christ, we're not paying me bonuses. That's shite. We don't want to win it. Yeah, mate. So, yeah, I think that's probably a good time to wrap it. We've passed the 2 hour mark.
I know it's that first 2 hour, mate. To be honest, I needed a bit of therapy. I was probably waffling a bit at the beginning, but I was so
I
pissed
think
off.
we've done an hour each, haven't we? And it's a little bit disjointed because you've played twice since we spoke, and United was 2 days ago. But
yeah, mine was going to be ultra positive, you bastard. I wish we'd done it at 6 o'clock. I was well positive back then.
Sure, I was ready to go last night.
Yeah,
you were ready to really ram it down Neville's throat about 8-0, and tonight you've not even.
I've not even brought that up.
Facts. So okay, so we've got United playing Thursday. Oh, are we doing a watch along? I think we spoke.
Yeah, if you're coming round mine, we'll do a watch along.
Yeah, we'll try and set one up. We'll try and set a watch along up on.
I think we might have, if we're doing it in the front room, we might have a very large chow called Bear strolling around trying to get in on the action. But it should make fun viewing for anyone watching.
On camera. So yeah, we'll try and do that, and then we'll just weigh up if we think if we want to do one Friday night, we could do maybe a bit of a shorter one ahead of the weekend. So
definitely, bro. Yeah, and I think we've got
Monday, Fridays for the foreseeable, hopefully, and then Champions League starting, Europa League. United have got Rangers, you've got PSG. Fuck it, mate. It's great. It's great.
I think we're looking at that PSG game as well, aren't we? That's going to probably be the first. Oh no, we did do a watch along with City Leicester, didn't we? But I think that's going to be our second City watch along.
Yeah. Yes,
of
course, yeah.
That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll try and do PSG for sure. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, no, mate, it's been good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, thanks for jumping on. You see the clock being right behind me. It's a bloody late one. Up early, yeah?
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Night pod. Okay, mate. All right. Thanks a lot, Christian. Catch you on the next one, bro.
All right, bro. See you in a bit, mate.